Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks Podcast. And today we are going to be talking about the takeaways from the game between Manchester United and Aston Villa at Old Trafford, where Bruno actually cements his legacy and we made our home a fortress, as well as Manchester United successfully defeating Aston Villa 3-1. So join me in this journey as we walk through the takeaways from the game, like what we learned and how we can improve on what we've seen so far. First and foremost, if you were kind of basically worried about the hangover after that Newcastle defeat, as well as the long time it took before we got to where we are, you can breathe easy because Manchester United didn't bounce back today. They were just kind of like, didn't bounce back yesterday. They were just kind of like a massive it was just a situation where Man United sent a message to every Champions League, hopeful in the country, especially with Chelsea and Liverpool before this game being hot on our tails. A 3-1 victory against Villa, a massive 3-point cushion in third place, and most importantly, we witnessed history because Bruno Fernandes hasn't just been good under Michael Carrick, but he's also been legendary. 16 assists in a single Premier League campaign and a new club record, and we still have 8 games to play. Now, today we're breaking down, a tactical battle that felt like a chess match in the first half and then an explosion in the second half. Then we have 5 massive takeaways on why Carrick's record is so dominant and 3 bonus insights on the defensive recoveries that saved us and 3 positive spins on the nerve-wracking Barkley equalizer. So we're going to kind of break all of these things down. The top 4 race is in our hands. Let's talk about why. First and foremost, of the 5 takeaways, we're going to talk about takeaway number 1, and that is the Bruno Fernandes record. We are witnessing the greatest creative season in history, right? Basically, great creative season in history for Man United, right? And the truth is, in as much as people want to create their own narratives and stuff, everything we're talking about is in the Premier League. And Man United can only play what's right in front of us, especially as a team, considering that we're out of all of the cup games that we're involved in pretty early. Now, to basically get to 16 Premier League assists and to surpass every legend who came before him, and to do it with 8 games left, is basically staggering. In as much as we want to find a way to make it look good, is staggering. But look at how he did it today. The pass for Cunha was a delicious slip ball that actually completely bypassed Ezri Konsa. Bruno isn't just playing, he is orchestrating. Under Michael Carrick, he has the freedom to roam, and the result is a world-class output that is dragging us into the Champions League spots. And that's what makes us seal the Champions League spots, right? Then takeaway number 2 is the Old Trafford Fortress, basically. 5 home games for Michael Carrick, 5 wins and 15 points sealed. Since Michael Carrick took over, we've only had 1 loss. And before then, the last time Man United lost in the Premier League was in December of 2026 on Boxing Day. And then after that, we lost to Newcastle. So there is a psychological shift happening at the M16. And even with the KG, even with how cagey we were in the first half, like perhaps showing some rust from an 11-day gap, but then you look at it again, you have to think about it from the perspective of it was cagey because Aston Villa wanted it to be cagey, right? The crowd actually stayed with the team. Carrick has restored the belief that if you come to Old Trafford, you're going to be overwhelmed by the energy in the second half. And basically, we showed it there. The truth is, we're not trying to sugarcoat anything to say maybe it was just manager bounce or anything whatsoever. I mean, we have a win. It is what it is. The most important thing is Michael Carrick was invited or appointed to coach Man United and on an interim basis to get us to the Champions League, which is the aim for this season. So if we get higher than that, that is a win for both sides, right? It's a win-win situation. And it also helps improve his resume, right? Improves his resume or his CV, as the case may be, right? Now, basically, we dominated at the restart, and it felt like, it felt like it was a bit lethargic. But then if you look at it, and that's why I try as much as possible to analyze before, going on social media to watch, because if you look at the way the game went, it felt like we had a slow start, but it was faster than what we saw against Everton and against Newcastle. It was pretty slow against Everton and Newcastle. So this one was a lot better, but I expect that we should do even better than what we've done so far. And then you move on to playing against Newcastle, and then you became slower. But now in this game, we improved a little bit. We dominated the restart, and then especially with the intensity in the second half, that's actually what made the difference in the table. So long may it continue. We made Old Trafford the fortress, and we proved our mettle in the second half. Then takeaway number 3 is Casemiro's goal scoring renaissance, right? 7 goals from this for the season. Let that sink in. Casemiro is no longer just a destroyer sitting in front of the back four. He's also becoming our most reliable set piece threat. I mean, that glancing header to open the scoring was an absolute class. Basically, Carrick's system allows him, to time his runs into the box perfectly. And basically, Martinez had no chance. And if Casemiro is chipping in with nearly 10 goals a season, then the tactical load on the front 3 becomes so much easier to manage. But before we wrap up on Casemiro, I need to read out some stats for you guys, because we need to talk about how Casemiro has done and the output he has given us as Man United fans watching. Just to give you what Sky Sports posted with Casemiro, right? Casemiro in the Premier League for 25-26 season, for goals scored, he has 7. First, basically in regards to the Premier League as a midfielder. That's for the ranking factor for all defensive midfielders. Goals scored 7. That's first. Forward passes 455. He's first. Final third passes 254. He's fourth. And then total tackles 67. He's first. Then interceptions 23. He is third. So, I mean, Sky Sports posted well, you can make of it what you will. But the truth is, Casemiro has shown that he is an invaluable member, of this squad. So, long may it continue. We're going to continue to observe and all of that. So, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Takeaway number 4 is the refreshed right flank. Carrick made a big call, dropping Mazraoui and Sesko to the bench and to start Dalot and Ahmad. Obviously, I called for it in the match preview and it paid off. The synergy between Dalot and Ahmad gave Villa's Lucas Digne nightmares, because he was defending against 2 players. Dalot's brilliant ball control and Ahmad's willingness to head goalwards forward forced Emi Martinez into some of his best saves, especially with those headers and the ability to jump into and find himself in the box. The tactical flexibility, changing the dynamic of a whole wing depending on the opposition, is exactly what we were missing, basically, for the most part. But then that was what we missed, especially in the game against Newcastle and some parts in the game against Everton. But now Ahmad played his first 90 minutes in 3 games, so that is good. And we're going to take that, right? Now, the takeaway number 5 is the Soccer Punch responses, right? The biggest takeaway wasn't just the first goal, it was the second. It was second because when Ross Barkley actually equalized, Villa looked resurgent. In previous years, United might have probably crumbled. Instead, we scored less than 10 minutes later, and the ruptured Trafford end response to Cunha's goal showed a team that doesn't fear parity. And we've shown that a lot this season, even under the previous manager, Ruben Amorim. We've shown that we have resilience, and whenever we concede, we don't go down, right? Especially in the Premier League. Now, we are a side that actually now believes that the winner is coming, regardless of what the opposition does. And if you watch the game, when they scored us, we still had that feeling that we'll still score. There was enough time to actually score. And we scored 2, which made it, really... And for me, I was pretty impressed, and I was happy that we got that, because obviously Villa beat us 2-1 or 3-1, thereabout, in the first leg. And so... I was so disappointed. I remember getting annoyed because of Lenny Yoro and how he defended Morgan Rogers, but it is what it is. You see how they faded out. And, there's so many factors that give us the advantage against Villa, and one of the factors is the fact that basically they just played in Europe, so they would have been tired and all of that. They played on Thursday and to come and face us on Sunday, and they still go again on Thursday. So like, I was pretty impressed with how we turned up, and it would have been worse if we did not turn up on the day. So yeah, let's take it like that. Then the bonus insights, let's just quickly run through that. Insight number one, Lenny Yoro's recovery pace. I mean, that tackle against Oli Watkins before the break, bro, like Watkins had a yard on him and Yoro turned on the Jets and shut it down. Between that and his header, clear under pressure from Onana, Yoro is showing the physical maturity that belies his age. And in truth, looking at this game against Aston Villa, I'm not going to judge Yoro just on this game, but just on his overall season, I think he's become a lot better. He's become a lot confident and all of that, right? He's shown some level of maturity. I mean, for a 20-year-old, he's doing okay, right? He's handling early Premier League strikers 1v1, and this allows Maguire to actually focus on positioning, and it's a partnership that is actually clicking. Having a look at Lenny Yoro's age and everything in between, you can tell that the guy is doing what he is supposed to do as a player for Man United. At 20 years doing this, that is like great. He can do more, can do better, but he's actually playing like a mature person. Then you look at bonus insight number two, that 11-day gap versus the Lille fatigue, like I just said earlier, right? Villa looked sharper in the first 15 minutes because they just played Lille on Thursday. But by the 70th minute, United's 11-day rest period became a massive tactical advantage. Like I said, they looked sharper because they've had more games. At the time we were playing them in our 30th game, that they were in their 40th game. So it's like they had 10 more games more than us, and basically they were, basically just sharper on all fronts more than us. And but then, honestly, playing on Thursday, then playing on Sunday, we felt it last season and we struggled towards the end. And then for them, it is the same thing. Villa players began to lag, which is exactly when Cunha and Sesko found the space to kill the game. Carrick's managed the freshness perfectly. And it's the same whip that they were using to whip us against Newcastle, where we had enough rest and then we still lost. So it is what it is. And then insight number three, Sesko's customary impact. Benjamin Sesko is now in double figures this season, 9 in the Prem, and he came on and within minutes he scored. I mean, it's becoming a pattern for him. I'm hearing stuff like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so those kind of things. Yeah, so whether he starts or comes off the bench, his swivel and his shoot instinct is elite. He's becoming the most reliable finisher in the club. And that deflection for the third goal was, basically the Shaka's luck. You'd only get when you are in the right place. And he had the opportunity to even score a fourth one, the same way Cunha scored. But I think he was trying to make a chance for Ahmad. But then he was caught in between two. So, but it is what it is. You just have to take the positives from it. But then let's go to the positive spins, right? Let's spin all the negative things into positive. First and foremost is the Ross Barkley equalizer again, and it's easy to be annoyed that we had to let the lead slip, but Barkley's goal actually served as a wake-up call, and we had kind of drifted slightly after the hour mark. Considering the goal forced Carrick to shift the intensity back up, and like I said, the intensity picked up after that goal, leading to 2 goals that actually secured the 3 points, and it kept us honest, basically, because if we had just won 3, you'd have like, maybe Man United just went through the whole game without actually, without Villa giving us a 5. And people could actually say, oh, Man United won the game, Villa were tired. But no, like Villa came roaring and we finished them off. Now, the next positive spin we're going to talk about is the KG first half. We talked about it at the beginning, but we need to talk about it again. Some fans felt like it was too quiet early on. Some fans felt like it was too slow. I see maybe more like I see it as a tactical patience. Now, if we look at the previous games and compare it to this one, this was way better. Now, if we didn't overcommit against Villa, because Villa are a very organized side, and basically they are little in the counter. You see, when they go long, and we didn't allow them go long as well. When they go long, they seem to always get it right. They went long a couple times and they missed it. They also had clear-cut chances. They also had situations where they could have easily just scored, but they didn't. They missed their chance. So it was a bad day at the office for them, but also a good day for us. Now, by being quiet in the first half, we preserved the energy needed to blow them away in the second. Maybe it was even the time where we had to do the safe first pass and all of that. But it was a mature performance, calculated performance as well, and everything in between. So yeah, it was good. And then also the third positive spin is a close call VAR check. And in truth, like I said in the player ratings, and I think in the match review, I said that there's a high chance that goal would have been called offside, because if you listen to the microphones in real time of that shot, you will hear it when it hit two people. First and foremost, Barkley's hit it, and then the second hit was from Onana. But obviously they won't pay attention to the sound. They'll say, oh, it is inconclusive, and they give the goal. So maybe just to give Villa something to fight for, but it is what it is. The VAR check on Barkley's goal, questioning if Onana blocked Lammens' sight, was also another angle they looked at, which I don't expect that they would have looked at that, because you need to look at the fact that Onana touched that ball. He was it was a heart-to-mouth moment for Man United, but then the fact that the goal stood actually worked in our favor psychologically, because he fueled the crowd and the players with a sense of injustice that translated into an immediate aggressive counter-attack for Cunha's goal. And that is, after the recovery, Man United pushed forward and everything went into Casemiro's hand, who drew forward and then passed to Bruno, who created a chance for Cunha to get the goal. Now, my final take for this is that that's 3 points ahead of Villa. And it was a 6-point swing, right? It could have gone 3 points behind. We could have gone 3 points behind Villa or 3 points ahead, but the latter was better, right? So if we look at that, Michael Carrick has turned Old Trafford into a place where the opposition can come to suffer. And Bruno Fernandes has officially cemented his name in the record books. You can't take that away from him. Whether you say he's not world class or anything, he's moaning and all that. He just keeps setting the records, and you get, like, if you say, oh, set pieces and all of that, yes, go and try the set piece and hit it. Let's see, right? So we're watching one of the most exciting tactical shifts in United's recent history, obviously. And like I said, long may it continue. I want Michael Carrick to win every game, seeing as, Man United wants to move away from rebuilding. But here's my final take for you today. Bruno Fernandes now has the record, 16 assists with 8 games left. Now, how many can he actually get? That's my question. How many can he actually get? Can he hit 20? And where does this season put Bruno in the conversation of greatest ever United midfielders? I mean, he's just topping the charts. Even when we had our worst teams, the ex-players will not agree with that, but he's topping the charts. So where does Bruno fit in the conversation of greatest ever United midfielders? Drop your number in the comment section and let me know if you already surpassed some of the legends in your book. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as we list all things Manchester United. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys. I think the next one is going to be the tactical review of the game of how Michael Carrick beat Aston Villa. So let me know thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. And God bless.